I have a confession, and that is that for this junk journal with me, I got a little bit carried away. So, as you know, we're doing the junk journal January prompts, and I sat down to do the prompt of hidden, which is day 9. And then I got so into doing this spread that I also accidentally did day 10, which is trim. So, come along for the journey as I build some extra pages into my journal. I feel like I'm going to have to not add too many pages to this journal, otherwise I'm going to end up with too many, but I decided to do a folded page that would unfold to reveal like a hidden element of the page. So you'll see I folded that book page there so that the fold on the left is like where my hidden journaling will be, or like my hidden collage. And then when I was going to tear off the excess of the fold that I did back on itself, I thought, maybe that could be a like nice pocket or something, like a tuck spot. And so you see there, I just grabbed some washi tape, and so I made this into a tip-in that's also got a hidden spot for journaling that's also a pocket. So whatever sort of Frankenstein page I've made here, I'm tipping it into my journal. So I just used some pale pink washi tape that's also a little bit translucent, so I didn't completely cover up the floral washi tape that I had done for the previous tip in, because I'm aware that I'm sort of tipping in, but I've already tipped something into this spread. So it's about time that I move on to the rest of the pages in the journal. So I promise this will be the last tip in for this section of the journal, but they're just so fun to do. Like, do you do tip ins in your journal? Because I feel like once you start doing it, it's so easy to just add so many extra bits and pieces to your journal, and with different like textures of papers and colors, and yeah, there's just so many possibilities to it. So I decided that I wanted to have something that was quite impactful on the left hand side of this spread here, but I didn't want it to detract too much from obviously the main event, if you will, of the page was the fold out that I had going on. So I just decided to use like a larger image here with this giant like washi sticker, and then I added some book text over the top, just a few little words like a little sentiment, and added them in the center of this. And I think that was just enough to have the interest on the left hand side, and I felt like I could move on to the right hand side because I didn't want to leave that completely blank, because I knew that I wouldn't come back to it. Like once I'd worked on the right hand side of the page, like I'd want to just immediately flip the page of the journal and continue working in the rest of it. So I felt like that was enough for that side. And then here's where I got a bit carried away. So I had some like lace trim here that I'd set aside, knowing I wanted to do something for the prompt of trim. And then when I'd added in this like folded page, I thought that it would be perfect because there was just enough overhang with this page that you would see the tip in and the trim in like the right amount. So I decided to just use my stapler to attach it to the page, so it does go on to the reverse of this page as well, which is something that I can work with when it comes to working in another prompt in a page of this journal. But I just decided to trim off the excess here, and I thought that it gave a really nice subtle detail and some texture as well with the fabric. And I think having it the cream like neutral tone as well really went with the book page and the washi tape that I'd chosen. So now I'm going to do my hidden part of the journaling. So I created that spot like I mentioned earlier to hide something inside, and I just decided to do a little collage because I'd added this book paper, so I knew I wasn't going to do any like writing necessarily. Like if I wanted to do that, I would have to push back the text or cover it up or something, and I thought like I don't want to do either of those things, so let's just do a little like hidden collage. And so I just grabbed a few different pieces of paper, and I kept like folding the paper back to make sure that the collage was actually hidden when you first looked at the page. And then I also brought in a little bit of stamping. So this stamp, I think I picked it up from Action when I was in the Netherlands, and so I really like this as a little bit of a frame, and it gives like a focal point to, you know, what would otherwise be a bit of a random collage in the middle of this book paper. So having that meant that I could like anchor the other elements that I was adding, like some rub-ons and some rub-on text as well, and also like little details. And so I was able to sort of have that focal point, like I mentioned, for this piece and this little collage, because, you know, it didn't take me too long to do this, but it was a nice way to just have this interest, and then it's like hidden as well. So there is extra space, and I could potentially, you know, probably come in and do writing where I've got the brown paper there. Like there's a bit of negative space, but then also I quite like it against all of the text. So I don't know, what would you do? Would you just leave it as is, or would you add something extra to it? I was kind of on the fence because I didn't want to do too much, you know, when you think like I need to just like leave it alone, and then like I can always come back to this and add extra stuff to it, but I just felt like enough was enough for that. So as you saw, I did add a few extra details to this spread in terms of using up like the excess of the giant washi sticker on the right hand side, which I really think helped to connect the page together. So even though they weren't like completely matching, you've got the same colours and also the leaves, and I decided to tuck them into the pocket so that there wasn't a harsh edge and it felt like it was part of it, but then also I guess I was technically like hiding a bit of that as well if you really want to push the prompts that far. But I just decided as well to add some tracing paper because I really liked the ghosting effect. Tracing paper was actually one of the first things that I thought about when I was thinking what to do for this prompt. I had quite a few different ideas. I was thinking at first about like different layers and whether to do like tracing paper like over the top of things and make it be sort of slightly hidden collage underneath. And then I'm just finishing off by adding some writing here onto a tag, and I thought I was going to tuck it inside the pocket, but I ended up actually paper clipping it like over the edge of the pocket, so you still have the pocket underneath, and that's sort of hidden on the page, and it's mimicking the way that I did the tag tuck spot on a previous page in this journal, and I just really enjoyed the look of it, so I decided like why not do it again? Like if you like the way that it looks, then you can keep experimenting with that. So, same sort of concept but a different approach to it, and that is everything that I did for the prompts of hidden and also trim. So let me know what you did for these prompts. I hope you enjoyed joining me for this journey of a journal page that had so many different elements to it, and I will see you in the next one.